It's amazing that this comic book has survived, not only survived, but is part of popular culture for so many decades. Why do you think that is?
It's interesting. I'm not sure because he's one of the few characters that has endured, vibrantly for so long. I think it has to do with the fact that, Batman is a superhero, but he's actually human. He's like us. He's flawed, and we recognize that he has flaws, but he also has, he overcomes those flaws, and he has a darkness, but he also overcomes that, and he reconciles with his own demons, and he can do extraordinary things. And I think that's a way that we would like to see ourselves, to imagine that we can confront our own inner darkness and overcome it and be powerful.
Welcome to Trimming the Movie Fat, the podcast where we trim films from franchises that don't belong. I'm your host, Stephen Nicholson, and today we're tackling one of the most polarising superhero films of the last decade, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Master Wayne. Thermal imaging is showing me 24 hostiles on the 3rd floor. Why don't I drop you off on the 2nd?
Getting slow in my old age, Alfred.
Even you got too old to die young, not for lack of trying.
He has the power to wipe out the entire human race. If we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty.
The greatest gladiator match in the history of the world. God versus man. Day versus night.
You're psychotic.
That is a 3-syllable word for any thought too big for little minds.
I've known a few women like you.
Oh, I don't think you've ever known a woman like me.
The oldest lie in America is that power can be innocent.
This is a highly anticipated film, but it is also a film that is shrouded in secrecy. You're really not allowed to say much about it.
Absolutely nothing. This is going to be the most boring interview ever.
Yeah, you are just in a corner right now. Even Superman couldn't figure out how to get out of this jam because here you are for this movie everyone is hearing about, and I'm like, tell me something about it. You got nothing, right?
I cannot, no. There's Warner Brothers have planted assassins in the crowd.
There you go. Just in case. Yeah. It's very exciting, though. Batman versus Superman. Going into it, have you found people have a rooting interest? Do you feel like when you meet fans, they're hoping for Superman?
The ones who speak to me are.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, generally the ones who are Batman fans, they don't talk to anyone.
Yeah, that's true. They're loners. Yeah. I think Donald Trump rooting for Batman.
Yeah.
Because illegal alien. Bernie Sanders rooting for Superman because Batman's one of them billionaires. So I think some people go into it knowing one or the other.
And this doesn't have depth. It really doesn't. It is really about the surface. That's not to say that Snyder cannot do depth, because I think that there is so much that's promising in the setup of Man of Steel. And it's so disappointing to just see it being as this Batman versus Superman being as turgid as it is. It feels like a project that was pulled in 48 different directions. It feels like something that, it's that old Terry Gilliam thing, isn't it? A camel is a horse designed by a committee. And this is the greatest criticism of it. I got bored. And I really didn't want to be bored. I really wanted to be excited. I thought it was incoherent. I thought it was stodgy. I thought that it didn't have any of the joie de vivre, the frisson that story needs in order to work.
Batman v Superman was released in 2016 and directed by Zack Snyder. For the plot, well, it's been nearly 2 years since Superman's Henry Cavill colossal battle with Zod, Michael Shannon, devastated the city of Metropolis. The loss of life and collateral damage left many feeling angry and helpless, including crime-fighting billionaire Bruce Wayne, played by Ben Affleck. Convinced that Superman is now a threat to humanity, Batman embarks on a personal vendetta to end his reign on Earth, while the conniving Lex Luthor, played by Jesse Eisenberg, launches his own crusade against the Man of Steel. So this movie grossed $875 million worldwide on a budget of $250 million. So it made nearly 3.5 times its budget, and it was the 7th highest grossing movie worldwide of 2016, just behind The Secret Life of Pets. Now, ratings-wise, hide your eyes. It has a 28% Rotten Tomatoes score, but a much better 63% Rotten Tomatoes audience score. Over on IMDb, on the audience side of things, it's got a 6.5 out of 10 rating, and on their critic Metascore, it is 44 out of 100. And here's a fact for you. Ben Affleck gained an additional 20 pounds of muscle and reached 8% body fat for his role as Bruce Wayne, aka the Batman. And if you're looking for a movie mistake, when Perry reads a newspaper in the movie, an article refers to the African incident as having taken place in the real-life city of Nairobi, even though the incident in the movie happened in the fictional country of Nairobi. And in summary, courtesy of Rotten Tomatoes, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice smothers a potential powerful story and some of America's most iconic superheroes in a grim whirlwind of effects-driven action.
Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent. I love it. I love bringing people together. How are we?
Lex.
Hello. Good. Hi. Hello. Lex, it is a pleasure. Ow. Wow. That is a good grip. You should not pick a fight with this person.
Batman v Superman was more than just a superhero showdown. It was Warner Bros.' ambitious attempt to launch the DC Extended Universe, and with Ben Affleck stepping into the cape and cowl and Henry Cavill reprising his role as Superman, the film promised an epic clash of ideologies, power and legacy. But did it deliver?
He has the power to wipe out the entire human race, and if we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty. And we have to destroy him.
But he is not our enemy.
Not today. 20 years in Gotham, Alfred. We've seen what promises are worth. How many good guys are left? How many stayed that way?
Well, one of the most intriguing aspects of BVS is its exploration of fear, power, and accountability. Batman represents human vulnerability and paranoia, a man who's lost too much and trusts too little. Superman, on the other hand, is a godlike figure grappling with his place in a world that both reveres and fears him. Zack Snyder leans heavily into mythological imagery. Superman as a Christ figure, Batman as a fallen angel. And the film asks, what happens when gods walk among us and who holds them accountable? But here's the thing. While the themes are ambitious, the execution is, well, let's just say it's complicated.
Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy.
Tell me. Do you bleed? You will.
Ben Affleck's Batman was a surprise for many. Brooding, brutal and battle-worn. Some fans loved this darker take. Others missed the detective side of the character. Henry Cavill's Superman continues to be stoic and conflicted, though many felt he was underutilised. And then there's Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, a performance that divided audiences. Was he a brilliant modern reimagining, or just plain miscast? I'll let you decide. And let's not forget Gal Gadot's debut as Wonder Woman, arguably one of the film's highlights. Her entrance in the final battle, iconic. Now visually, the film is stunning. Snyder's signature style of slow motion, dramatic lighting and operatic scale is on full display here. The action scenes, especially the warehouse fight and the Trinity battle against Doomsday, they are beautifully choreographed. But the pacing, that's where things get shaky. The theatrical cut felt rushed and disjointed, while the Ultimate Edition, which is a longer R-rated version, added much needed context and coherence.
I'm older now than my father ever was. This may be the only thing I do that matters.
20 years of fighting criminals amounts to nothing.
Criminals are like weeds, Alfred. Pull one up, another grows in its place.
So Batman v Superman was a box office success, but critically it was a mixed bag, and it sparked debates about tone, storytelling and the direction of the DCEU. Some saw it as a bold, philosophical take on superheroes. Others saw it as overly grim and convoluted, but love it or hate it, the film left a mark. It paved the way, rightly or wrongly, for Justice League, and introduced key characters and redefined what a superhero movie could attempt, even if it didn't always stick the landing.
You know, I bet with that dress, 9 out of 10 men would let you get away with anything.
But you're the 10th.
I'm guessing I'm the first. I see through that babe in the woods act. You don't know me, but I've known a few women like you.
Oh, I don't think you've ever known a woman like me.
So what do I think of it? Well, I'm in the minority here. I always really enjoyed watching this movie. I think the first time I seen it was the theatrical cut in IMAX back in 2016. However, the ultimate cut of the movie is certainly superior, and that's the only one that I watch now. And yeah, it's a flawed movie, but there is very much, there's so much to enjoy within here. I thought Ben Affleck was a great Batman. The first actor to play the Dark Knight who had the right look and physical attributes to be almost comic book accurate Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns Batman. And let's be honest, it would scare the crap out of you. That warehouse fight, fierce and fabulous. And I like the more frazzled, world-weary take on the character of Bruce Wayne. However, I was not a fan of his almost irrational obsession of destroying Superman at all costs. Bruce is smarter than that. The movie does the character of Superman, and in turn Henry Cavill, a bit of a disservice. Why? Well, this is a sequel to Man of Steel, a Superman movie, yet the character plays second fiddle to Batman throughout. But as ever, Cavill is excellent in the role, although I do prefer the more optimistic, positive, light take on the character. And I do think it is sad we never really got the chance to see Henry Cavill portray that version of Supes. And Gal Gadot makes an impressive entrance as Wonder Woman, one of the highlights of the movie. And she gets a fantastic musical theme courtesy of Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL. It uses aggressive electric cello and percussion, evoking a mythic, almost operatic intensity, and overall it's actually an epic soundtrack, almost Wagnerian in its attempts to keep up with the grand operatic images on the screen.
You're letting him kill Martha!
But yeah, let's address the Martha, the elephant in the room. Martha. What Superman shouts when Batman is about to end him. Obviously they share the same, their mother share the same name, but The way it's done in this movie, yeah, it's dumb, it's clunky. Let's move on to Doomsday. A monstrous creature created by Lex Luthor using General Zod and kryptonite technology. Doomsday becomes a physical threat that unites Batman, Superman and Wonder Woman, and he doesn't work for me. He's just a giant fake CGI monster that takes me out of the film. It's the kind of thing that Christopher Nolan railed against in the Dark Knight trilogy, and there's cool things going on around Doomsday, you know, in that penultimate fight in the third act of the movie, but he in itself is not impressive. And one last gripe, Superman is killed off far too early in the DC universe. How much more impactful would his death have been after a few more movies and having seen a more optimistic take on the character? And also, we obviously know he's going to come back. So yeah, the movie is flawed, but I still enjoy it immensely, and it's a fascinating movie. It's a film that swings for the fences, and while it doesn't always connect, you can't deny its ambition, and it does have some of the coolest shots of Batman ever committed to celluloid.
Like trimming the movie fat, why not check out our other podcast, Trimming the Musical Fat?
Now, I want to hear from you. Did Batman v Superman live up to your expectations? What did you love or hate about it? Drop me a message on TikTok, YouTube or Facebook. Contact details are in the episode description. And that's it for today's episode of Trimming the Movie Fat. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review and share it with your fellow film buffs. So until next time, keep trimming.
Trimming the Movie Fat is a Stephen and Paul Nicholson production. We'd love to hear from you. Contact us by voicemail via the Spotify link in the episode description. You can email us at trimmingthemusicfat@gmail.com. Keep up to date with the show and access exclusive content by joining our Facebook group, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and following us on TikTok. You can also check out our website at trimmingthemusicalfat.com. Thanks for listening.